Hello there.
Good morning. I was worried because the news was just saying Zoom is down nationwide. So,
Not in California.
oh, that's good. So,
At least for now.
yep.
We'll have to see. We'll go to, I don't know what plan B is yet. I want to do something. I want to make you a co-host.
Okay.
So you're able to do whatever I can do. All right. So I now deem you co-host. I decided to take the checklist out of all the classes.
Okay.
It's just another way to get something screwed up.
Okay. No biggie. So
if they ask for it, so what happens is when I added the checklist, it brought in the checklist from last semester.
yeah.
They stay with you and go into all your classes, which is kind of a waste of. I'd rather do a manual one, a Word doc, and
yeah. I did an Excel one. I'm going to send it over to you after this.
right.
And I color coded what was due when,
Okay.
and I'll send that over because I just thought, yeah, anything I can help with that with them to, kind of stay on track with this semester. So, but yeah, no, I was reading that last night after my 13-hour driving day. So
Where'd you drive from?
I left my driveway in Yorba Linda, and I drove all the way to Shaver Lake. I left my driveway at 4:30 a.m. and got back in the driveway at 5 p.m.
All right. Well, you just an iron horse there.
Oh, no. My husband's still there in Clovis, getting the car fixed. So, but I brought the kids back. So.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, my son drove on the way back. So.
Somebody named Elizabeth.
That was the other thing. Yeah, waiting room. The other thing I was going to ask you real quick is just in terms of how we take roll, but we can talk about it afterwards.
What I'm doing now is I'm seeing these people waiting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to hold on. I want to stop the recording. Okay, the recording. Good morning, everybody. I think welcome to Joe 200. We started this class about 4 years ago, and I had to beg students to get to double digits so we could have the course be able to be run. And now we're up to our total maximum, and I'm encouraged by that. Welcome to this class. Hopefully most of you are majors in our course, and minor students. My name is Casey Geller. I got to create the course a few years ago, and I've been with our program for 12 years. You get the one today. Jackie and I are going to co-teach this class, and we both have a lot of experience with online. I am suffering from some kind of Zoomitis because what supposed to be happening for me, I don't get the tools. So we're going to go to plan B. So I've been here, as I say, I've been here 12 years, usually online in hybrid classes, both graduate and undergraduate level. Prior to that, I was in the private sector for a long time, lots of different things. And one day when we got a couple of weeks, I'll tell you all about it. But we're very interested in seeing you guys because this is a course that I think has been very well received. Obviously, the enrollment tells us that. And our hope is that you walk away from this course with a toolkit full of things that you're going to be able to use now with older adults in your life and later on for yourselves to enhance the whole aging process and bring some meaning to it. So we're recording this session. If you're not able to make it, then we'll go from there, and you'll be able to see it in the course. I'll post them in the course later on. So this is us, a little picture of me. And so maybe Jackie, you want to introduce yourself?
Hi guys, Jackie Lauder. So yeah, Casey said we both have lots of experience in online. He has a lot more experience than I do, but yes, I've taught online with Casey for a while. And I do have an extensive background in gerontology and aging. So I come from the world of Medicare and healthcare and policy and all the things that happen out there with the aging community. So, and we'll be really excited to share it with you. And what I get really excited about this class is a lot of people will enroll, not sure they understand, you know, why do I want to learn about aging? And in fact, this class is about you and everyone you know. So, and we're going to take that journey together.
Okay, so what we're going to do is break this up into two pieces. I'm going to talk a little bit about the structure of the course and what you have to do and when, and then Jackie's going to come back in and talk a little more about content. So if you'll scroll down a little bit, Jackie, you can see that here's our information about how to reach us. There's email, that's probably the best way. And we'll be conducting office hours, Jackie on Monday, me on Wednesdays. And there are links here to click on, and we'll be manning that. You'll go into a waiting room, and if there's a lot of people, we'll bring you in one at a time, just like with me. Because each one of these sessions I want to be private. And there's not too much on the home page. If you want to scroll down a little bit more, Jackie. So
this is a good video.
Time goes on. Anything I find interesting. So Paul McCartney, actually, he and I are the same age. The one on the right. So this is kind of an interesting thing to watch. And these are not things that you're going to have to be tested on or have to write about, but they're things to kind of enhance what we're talking about in the class. And this will change as history dictates. So that's the home page. A little bit further down, Jackie, we'll get to there's a survey that we're going to talk about in a few minutes that I'd like you to think about. And I'm going to add the calendar to this homepage after this session, and you'll be able to see what's coming up in terms of assignments. Okay, next one would be the content area.
Okay, hold on a second. Okay, let's get a look at content.
So in the content area, we've got, 34 items. So if you click on table of contents, Jackie, that way you can
Okay, real quick, Casey, we have 9 people in the waiting room. Do you need to let them in?
I do.
Okay.
You should be able to as well.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it. I've got it.
Okay.
Okay.
First day, guys.
Well,
Oh, I see a familiar face. Hi, Maris.
okay. So we have our syllabus. I don't know, Jackie, do you have so you can pop it up real quick, or do you have to?
I'm just gonna pop it up from here.
Okay. So this is us, and the syllabus is kind of like every other syllabus you've seen. There's a description of the course. We have learning outcomes for you at the course level to take a look at. There's a text that is available through, it's a customized textbook that we created a couple years ago with the publisher Sage. Essentially, we took out about 12 pages that we didn't find useful to students, and we added the learning outcomes for each chapter into the book, and it also reduced the price because they know they got us locked into it, and work with us because we have a lot of these sections. Scrolling down, you've got just the regular access. So the way the grades are going to work in this class is we have 800 points total, and we have 4 big discussion boards, which we'll dive into a little bit more, and we've shifted things around. So what we've done in this course is taken out any exams except for a practice exam. So you won't have any exams to do, no final, no midterm, anything like that. Because this course really lends itself to personalizing your experiences with what we're going to be talking about in each of our topics. And our final project is going to be something that you may have never heard of called a Petsikucha, and we will talk about that a little bit later, probably not too much today, but it's a kind of a fun project, and it's a challenging one. It defeats what's called death by PowerPoint, I think, and so we'll talk some more as we get into the semester. And there may be some items, and actually there already is one, and we'll talk about that in a minute. So it's a normal grading, 90% gets an A, 80 B, like that. Communication, as I mentioned, email is probably the most effective. And then we also, once we get into the discussion board, I'll show you a forum that we use so you can ask general questions about the course and about Beachboard. We will give you feedback within 2 days, usually much less. It depends on what's going on. And then we'll probably do a general kind of feedback on each of the topics that we deal with over the course of the semester as we go on. So, and for writing assignments, we really don't accept late papers unless we've got a heads up that there's something monumental going on in your life that you're unable to do this. And we'll work with you on that on an individual basis. Plagiarism is the same as cheating, and we pretty intolerant about that. There are pretty strong consequences for that. The university frowns on it.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yep.
On this one, since I noticed we have, hi Maris, people that have actually taken other courses of ours. Be real careful about this one, because if you've taken like 23, I think you took Maris 23, and if it's, if the assignment is similar, be very careful about, not taking a paper that you already did. You want to create something new, because it still comes up as plagiarism, and I don't want that to accidentally happen to anyone. So, and we have a lot of crossover in terms of students taking these courses. Okay, I'm done.
All right, good. You can scroll down some more. So the rest of this is kind of boilerplate. There's a withdrawal policy. The attendance policy is such that we are going to, and we'll see the course schedule next, we're going to meet 6 times over the course of the semester in a synchronous session like this, and the rest of the time will be asynchronous. We don't want you to talk about your grades because it's your business, not anybody else's. Netiquette, there's a link here. So for example, a violation of netiquette for me would be to type something in all caps and just kind of like yelling at someone. And we watch this pretty closely. There's really no reason. We haven't had much, if any, problem now, and I think about it, with people communicating with each other and in a respectful way. So I'm sure that's going to continue. We're trying to create a community here. So we've changed things around with respect to how we talk to each other, and this will come up in a few minutes, because we realize that every other semester we've run this class, we've gotten to see you guys each week, and I can tell you that Jackie and I, both of us, really miss that experience. We like the interaction, and frankly learned as much from you guys often than we can present to you. So as we go on and you communicate with each other, just kind of simulate that we're going to be in a real classroom, and for 6 times we are only a little bit different. And then there's more stuff about accommodations and academic services. There's privacy and accessibility statements for all of the technology that we use. If you want to have a look at that, if you have any need for assistance, technically there's the help desk that we just scrolled away from, and there's a link there and a phone number, I think, for that. Yeah, okay, so technical assistance, and they're very good, much better than they have before. And I'm going to also show you another place to go should you run into any technology. Okay, so those are the statements. I don't think there's much more, is there? So then, so the competencies that we would ask you to do would be to, have a computer, have word processing, obviously you have to use your CSULB email account now in Beachboard. Be able to save messages and so forth. These are all things I'm sure all of you have the ability to do. Use a browser, so forth. Equipment for this class, camera helps, microphone helps, not absolutely necessary, but you're able to be much more inclusive with that. Office 2013, and if you don't have it, we're going to give you a place to give us a survey and let us know what's going on. And I think that's about it for the, so what's going on for any more in the syllabus?
Nope, that's it. So
okay, so let's go, if we could, Jackie, to the course schedule, please.
course schedule, okay.
So we organized this course by weeks. It used to be weeks and modules, and I got confused, and the students were confused, so I got rid of the word module. I think if you see the word module anywhere in the course, let me know, and I will send it into cyberspace. So in the course schedule, when you open it up, and I recommend you maybe want to print this out, the shaded area are the weeks that we're going to be in a session like this. And then the weeks that are not, just clear white like that, black and white, you will not. So we're meeting today, right now at this time, and this is going to kind of give you an overview of what is going on. And I can tell you every semester that I've been involved, and most of the faculty I've ever talked to, there are so many nooks and crannies in this course. So invariably, you're going to find that something on this page, a date or a time or an assignment, may not match another. So I'm going to tell you which ones to follow and in a minute. But this one I think is, and we've gone through it a few times, and hopefully we've gotten all 12,000 of the numbers right. We'll
and if you find something, let us know, then we can correct it. So yeah.
Almost on the slide. So okay, so that's it. You can scroll down a little more, Jack, if you would, please. So you'll see infographics, and we're going to talk about those. Those are coming up right away. And then on week 5, we meet again. And what we're going to ask you to do is, so you have a reflection due on the first 3 chapters of the book. And this book is structured so that it looks at different controversies with respect to aging. So it looks at some very interesting ideas. Do we, for one, do we lose our intelligence as we grow older? My wife seems to think that about me, but she's pretty astute, so that could be possible. So we'll talk about something like that. And then a lot of different topics, I think. students in the past have found pretty interesting because it impacts everybody on the planet. What we're going to be talking about aging is absolutely a universal experience. So you can go through this. There's not much more. Things are posted in here, so we'll see you again on week 8, and then and 9. There's 2 weeks there back to back, and then we'll see you towards the end of the course. Week 12 is that, and then the final week, I think, after the break. So we have Thanksgiving break. The final week we'll have a discussion and wrap up of everything we've talked about. Okay, back up to the top, Miss Jackie.
Top of this or top of
Okay, we'll get out of this and let's go into the Dropbox.
Oh, yeah. This is where you want to go.
So there are two ways you submit your assignments in this course. One is the Dropbox, and the Dropbox is not a kind of a public forum. It's between you and us, and so we'll ask you to do things in here. The Pechakucha we'll talk about, as I said, soon. It's a 2-parter. You can see that we're going to ask you to do a proposal for this, and then a final presentation at the end of the semester. 321 feedback at the end of the semester deals with how you felt about the content, what was important to you, what maybe wasn't important to you, what you'd like to learn more about. And then the infographics are going to be on the weeks that you don't do a reflection. So we're going to want you to kind of stay engaged in this course. And the infographic is an alternative to writing 2 or 3 paragraphs about the particular topic of the week. We're going to ask you to create a visual presentation about what was important to you, and then write a couple sentences about what your visual infographic represents. And we'll talk about that pretty quickly here. And I think that's it for the Dropbox, right, Jackie?
Looks like it.
Okay, good.
So we're not doing the interview. So
no, not in this course.
not in this course. Okay. All right. Do we want to go to?
So let's go to quiz for a minute. I told you we didn't have any exams, and that was probably true and false. There is a practice exam. It's open this week. It stops on the 30th. And we'd like you to just take the exam. Don't study for it. Just take it. Whatever the first answer comes to mind, that's usually the correct one. Just pop that in there.
Maris, you're going to nail it.
And we're going to, kind of debrief on that exam, because a lot of people have misconceptions about the aging process that this exam kind of addresses. And so it's important for you to know that you may think that older drivers are bad drivers. Some are, some aren't. There's a lot of younger drivers that also fill that bill, and their insurance is a whole lot higher than mine. So that's the only exam. It's open. You get it from quizzes, and it won't take too long to do. And I want you to use that as part of your discussion in your bio about getting started. Okay. The next one is let's go to the gradebook first, Jackie, just to show the overview of everything. Okay, so you can see the reflections, and they are, there's 2, go back just to reflections right now, Jackie, a little bit, okay. So there's 2. The first one is getting started, and the last one is that survey I talked about, the 321. You can see that they're both 25 pointers, and frankly, if you do them and completely, you're going to get the full points. These are real softball ones. And then the reflections, the 4 in between, are going to be much deeper dives into what we're talking about in each type. in the past that we kind of had you guys write something every week, and what I've just decided to do in the last couple of years is to kind of connect the dots a little bit, because all these topics are related in some way to each other, not silos. So, so they're the majority of your course is right here in the reflections. So this is where I'd like you to put your emphasis, and it's not difficult. It's just doing the work and doing the work on time and following the instructions, and everybody will do just fine in this class. Then the infographics, you can see, I'm not sure why number 6 is only 10 points. I'll fix that. 4 and 6, okay. They're all 25 pointers. And then the kind of the signature assignment of this course is the Petrucha, and it's a 2-part thing where you have a proposal and you have a final exam, a final presentation to put together. And then finally, at the bottom there, under extra credit, there's a student readiness self-assessment that we would ask you to take. It's extra points and could make a difference in the letter grade, frankly. And what it does is it tells us and you how well prepared you are for online, and if you need anything, and if you need something, and we're able to give it to you, then or send you to a resource, because everybody's got a different situation out there. Some maybe don't have great internet connection. Some maybe don't have a great computer, or all of the things you need. So we'd like to know that and be aware to be able to help you out. Okay, so that's grades. I think the last thing is the discussion board, which is really where everything is contained. Mm-hmm. So the first forum is asked and answered, and if you have any, like I mentioned earlier, any general questions about the course or about Beach Board, anything other than a personal question, you know, my grades or something going on with your family or any other personal thing, send those to us directly in email. But any other general questions, you can post them here. We look at this every day and we'll answer. Odds are pretty good if you have a question about something, somebody else in the class does too. 39 or 40 of you, so it's a good sized class. And we usually have this really cool room to work in, and it's empty right now, and it's a shame because we like that room. It's a great room to interact and be active in the classes. When we have a virtual class, with the exception of this one, I wouldn't expect it to last the hour and 15 minutes that we would have typically in a face-to-face environment. But sometimes it'll get close to that. But I would say on average, you can kind of plan for between 45 minutes and an hour tops to have these classes. And we're going to present some things to you each week in the times we meet, and probably put you in breakout rooms and have you work on some ideas individually in the groups, and then come back in and we have a conversation. The idea is to have the conversation, is to talk about, you know, your own personal experiences are huge in this situation because everybody's got unique set of them, and your perspectives and your experiences add richness to the class, and we all learn from each other. So, and in the discussion board, everything that you've got to go take a look at is linked. So there's a Ken Dykewald, and you click on that, it'll take you to his video, and you can come back into class. Same with the exam. So we kind of keep the navigation as clean as possible, so you're able to stay in here. So this first week, you can see that this has got a reflection. It's opened this morning at 8 o'clock and closes on Sunday. So our class starts on Monday at 8 and ends on Sunday nights at 11. That's our course week. So what we'd like you to do, if you look at the bottom of that paragraph, it'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. We'd like you to, 2 days before the end of the week, on Friday, is to post your reflection and then respond to another student and then reply to that student who's responded to you. So when you go in to respond to another student, if that person's already got somebody who's responded to them, find somebody else. And it'll change around. I'd like you to not respond to the same person every week, but move it around and share ideas. And this will hopefully continue the discussion. Sometimes we'll get in there and join the conversation if it's going in a direction that maybe could be better, or we can give you some resources to think about in different perspectives. So that's the first week. Second week is, so this is really about you, the first one, and it's one of the softball ones. Week 2 talks about whether or not there's any meaning to life, what that looks like. You have your text, and then you have a couple TED Talks and some other resources there. And notice in week 2 that this would be normally, if you, like in week 1, when you would do your reflection, it would stay in the discussion board. So we've got this locked week 2 because there's nothing due in the discussion board, but underneath it tells you that infographic for week 1, week 2 is due in the Dropbox on the 6th of September. So if you click on that, you won't get into the discussion board. So don't click on it, just follow the instructions on the bottom and that'll do it. And then, so you can see old age having meaning. Week 3 is why do our bodies grow old? And there's resources, a whole bunch of resources for this one. And then same thing with the infographic. You're going to read this chapter, look at the resources, and create a graphic. And then week 4 does intelligence and creativity decline with age. All 3 of those those topics are related to each other in one way or another. So in week 5, so you got another infographic for those first 3 chapters. In week 5, we're going to ask you to kind of connect the dots a little bit. There's more resources here, and we're going to be talking in class, so we want you to be ready to talk about this in class on controversies 1, 2, and 3. And so this reflection is going to deal with talking about what you learned in those 3 chapters and how they relate to each other. And again, a response and reply. So this is opened for a week, starting on Monday the 21st and ending on 27th. And so we'd ask you to put your initial reflection for these 3 chapters and the other materials you've seen in the discussion board by the 25th, and then respond and reply by the 27th, which is the end of the week. And that's the way this will continue on throughout. Everything, again, I say, is linked, and it opens up in a separate window, so you should be able to come back to the course pretty easily right away. So you can take a look at this. All these are open to have a look at. You can see that if it's a reflection, then it's got a start date and an end date. And the end date is pretty, doesn't know what time you think it is. It knows what time it thinks it is. So if it's due on Sunday at 11 o'clock, do not wait till 3 minutes till 11 to start it, because it may lock you out, and then we get the begging for mercy email from you, and have different kinds of responses for that. All right, so I think that's the general layout of the course. Is there anybody have any questions? Not that I can see them. So I can see the discussion board though, the chat room.
You can see the chat room.
I can, yeah. So you can raise your hand, or you can, and we'll recognize you. You're able to speak or write something in the chat room. Two different ways to communicate in Zoom. And I just want to see how we're doing right now. Everybody good?
Yep.
You can give us the sign, or give Jackie the high sign, or the peace sign, or thumbs up, or whatever, if you're doing fine. If
And
not,
see if I can see it now.
Jackie can see everything. I'm flying on instruments primarily, so I'm not sure.
I'm not seeing the chat room, but.
Oh no, you can go down the bottom and be able to open it up. You have to open it up. Maybe under more, or it may say chat.
I'm looking at more, not breakout rooms. I'm looking for the chat room. No, I've done the chat room before.
Yeah.
So, okay. Not seeing it.
I'm going to read them to you. All good for now, Professor. Thanks. All good. Hello, what does highlighted boxes mean in the course schedule? That means that we're going to be in a Zoom session on those highlighted weeks, Elizabeth. Okay. So, Jackie, you want to talk a little bit about content and
Sure.
what this is all about?
Okay, so again, welcome to Gerontology 200, not 400. So this is really a course again about aging, and obviously you knew that. But why would a course about aging be important? Well, quite frankly, we in the gerontology department think a course about aging is important to everyone, because this course is, like I said in the beginning, about you and everyone that you know, right? Your mom, your dad, your aunt, your neighbor, person down the street, Uncle Joe back in Minnesota. So everyone is aging, and there's an impact in everyone's life. We're sort of all doing this together. One of the questions that we ask in person, and I miss seeing you in person. Casey and I are both, very much seeing you in person, is the question I ask is, who in the room is going to be younger tomorrow? Sorry, it's my phone. Younger tomorrow than you are today. And literally no one's going to be younger tomorrow. You're going to be a day older. And if you're not a day older, what are you going to be? You're dead. And so aging is actually really important, because it's something that applies to all of you. We're just all at a different place on the train track, right? Some of you are at the beginning of the train track, young and vibrant, everything's going on, and others of us are further down the train track, still could be vibrant, but we have different experiences in life. And what we want to do is actually make those experiences important and relevant to you, because they are relevant, and help you, like Casey said, connect the dots. And that's connecting the dots about aging in terms of policy and society, what's going on. Right now in the United States, 10,000 people turn 65 every single day. And that's going to happen for the next 17 years. That's that baby boomer generation, 1946 to 1964. That would be me. We're that big, giant population. Millennials came along, they're big as well. But we're a big population that is going to have a big impact on what happens with you. And so when we have 10,000 people turning 65 every day, what does that mean for healthcare? And how are we going to afford it? What does that mean for social policy? Where is everyone going to live as they're aging in place or not aging in place? And who are going to take care of these people that are aging, these 10,000 people, every single day? And so there are there are consequences to the aging boomers and aging policies and aging environmental factors. And the consequences not only affect the aging population, but they affect you as well. And they affect, your whole community. And how do we manage this? And how do we manage this economically so that it's not a horrible drain, on you? And now we have a new and interesting we have COVID, which, good grief, 6 months ago, no one knew that this was going to impact you as a student, impact us as a society, and it's going to have a big impact on what happens in terms of economics and healthcare and aging in place and managing this piece. And so it's a very interesting course in terms of, yes, we're going to focus on aging, but it really is, we're going to focus on what's going on in society and how do we manage this. And you guys are the future. Actually, one of the things that people always say, this new generation, and I always tell people, I'm so excited because getting to know you guys semester after semester, you make me excited and positive for the future. You're awesome. You're all about 10,000 times smarter than I am already at your age. And so by the time you go and you're the ones deciding policy and you're the ones making this decision, I have no doubt that you're going to make it a better world. But this gives you more information to help in that policy and help understanding what's going on. Gives you the broad, sorry for the phone. Gives you that broad overview in terms of what's happening. And as Casey and I hand it off to you and your generation to sort of help fix us and get us going back in the right direction. So that is, and then as Casey said, and I do want to kind of look at all. So we're going to go down into the things I'm going to look at. Again, does aging have any meaning? Or did just people get, older and sadder and kind of fall off the cliff? Think about that. Look at that. Look at different people. Start to understand that. So, there's a lot of thought out there. People just assume in the stereotypes, they just get older and, and I never want to get older. Well, Casey and I are much further down the train track and I don't feel like I'm falling off just yet. So lots of life to live, lots of things going on. I am about as annoying as I am now as I ever have been. So, that doesn't change for a while. Why do our bodies grow old? Oh, good heavens. That really is a very interesting concept. Why does that happen? Is there anything we can do about it? What are the consequences of that? It's the shock to me every day, quite frankly. It's like, I do not recognize that person in the mirror. So, but it happens. And what do I need to understand? Does intelligence and creativity decline with age? Do we just sit there and watch television and become a lump? Or do we stay engaged? And how does that work? Like I said, Casey and I right now are pretty engaged, and I don't know. Am I as smart as I was? I don't know that I was all that smart to begin with. So hopefully I've grown a little. And like I said, you guys are far smarter. Should we ration healthcare? Why should we take care of those old people when they get sick, right? They've lived their life. They're at the end of their life. They're getting sick. They literally are taking up a good 80% of the healthcare costs. Why should we take care of them? We have children to take care of. So the guns and butter kind of economic argument and different kind of arguments around that and how does this work? I'll be giving you a presentation about Medicare and what it means and what it is, also Social Security. Do families provide for their own? In the United States, as people get older, who takes care of them? Do they all go into a nursing home? Do you understand how much that costs? Is that possible? At $10,000 a day, how do we do this? Or I'm sorry, $10,000 a month, how do we? And so lots of questions around understanding how we do this. Should older people be protected? Anything wrong? Well, we do have an epidemic in terms of elder abuse, and it's actually financial elder abuse as well as physical elder abuse. And that happens with the older population. Should people have the choice to decide about the end of their life? This is where Casey and I are really going to miss you, because we have lots of good debates and conversations around this. And what does this really mean? And how do you make that decision? And do you have the right to make that decision? Or does somebody else have the right to make that decision for you? And then, you know, entitlements. Entitlements are Medicare and Social Security. Lots of conversations around that and what they cost. We're going to go through that. And then, well, the last one, and future of Social Security. We'll talk about that as we get down there. Retirement. Who's retired? Is it obsolete? Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I feel both ways. Back and forth. There it is. I'd love to just go sit on the beach. And then boomers. So lots of conversations, lots of interesting ways to look at aging and the controversies that surround aging, and start to connect those dots to you. And what does that mean to you? And then if you start to understand what it means to you, no matter what you pick in your career down the road, you're going to have answers for how we move forward. And those answers are going to be important for you. Casey and I are kind of, we're good, but we need to manage this so that you guys have a good future as well. And with that, does anyone have any questions? And Casey, I can't see the chat room, so.
Okay, I actually figured out how to get control of everything.
Pardon?
I got control of everything now.
Oh, good.
So it sounds like I need to get a better microphone. Would that just shake your head if you agree with that? Okay.
I agree.
All right, this $3 microphone's not working, huh? Okay. I'm going to probably use a headset from now on, but so I did. Okay, I got you. So when you log in here, like Angela, we got a couple, 3 Angelas in the class, so I don't know which Angela it is. So when you log in, if you could give us first and last name, that would be great. Appreciate that. And so let's go over, Jackie, let's go back to the course.
Okay, and someone's also asking about infographics. And can I say something real quick in terms of just housekeeping? When you guys email a question or send out an email, something not in the discussion board, but a direct email to us, do me a favor and please, please, please put that you're Gerontology 200, because both of us teach multiple courses. And if we have to spend, you know, a lot of time trying to figure out what course you're in, it just takes us longer to get back to you. Does that make sense? That would be really, really helpful. That's something that challenges me every semester. So, all right, Casey, what do you want me to do?
Let's go back to content and share the screen.
Is my screen shared? I thought it was.
I'm sorry, what?
My screen is shared, correct?
I don't see it.
Oh, you don't see it. Okay.
You see the home screen of the course?
Yes or no? Maris, can you see the screen, my screen? Okay.
Okay. All right, good. I have no idea what's going on here, but I'll get over it. So here's all right, I see it now. Okay. So I'm going to turn away sometimes when I look at you guys, but so what I want to do is we're going to, I think I don't have control because you're sharing yours. So go down to infographic information at the bottom. So what will happen is there's a whole number of resources here about infographics. So let's go down to samples and open up that, and let's see if we can give you an idea of what we're talking about. And let's do the food, either one of those. Yeah, any of those. These are students from previous courses, sections. And then it should, so you should be able to open it up down below. It's downloaded.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
All right. Can you see that, Casey?
No,
You cannot?
I cannot. Can you guys see it?
Harris, can you see the infographic? No? Okay, so I'm gonna have to go in and share this. Hold on. Gosh. My sharing has, I'm gonna share new, hold on. I'm almost there.
All right.
Okay. How's that?
Perfect. So this is obviously we were talking about nutrition this week. This one's a little bit busy, but it kind of, this is what this student took away from that particular section we were talking about. Obviously a nutrition major, you can tell. So let's look at another one if we could, Jackie. This one's,
Yeah.
well, this one's fine, but it's kind of busy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to the other, whoops, GMO. Oops. And
Are you not sharing your screen anymore?
I don't know what happened, but let me go in and
Actually, if you're not sharing your screen, I probably can.
can you?
We can find out.
If you can't, I'll go back in and do it. So
Let me just see if I'm there yet now. I think I might be. Okay. Yeah. So let me see if I can. You're
I've
not
got
sharing.
yeah, I've got a simple one here.
All right. Well, once you put it up, then I won't share then.
Okay. All right. So let me go back into share screen and here we go.
All right. So this is a little bit more, and again, I guess we had a couple of nutrition students. So this one is simpler, and what we're going to ask you to do is to think about what we talked about, what you took away from the materials that we're looking at, what we've talked about in class, whatever, and then each week that we don't meet, of the 6 times we meet, all the other times, we're going to ask you to create an infographic about what you're looking at. So this will be typically 1 chapter per week, and give us a kind of a graphic presentation of what your takeaways are. And then below this, just a couple sentences about what it is, what you're trying to achieve here. We've put this to a vote about 10 times now in classes. Do this or do 2 or 3 paragraphs about what you learned, and it's 100%. We want to do this. So hopefully you'll feel the same way. And it gives you a different way to get creative. You can go online and find images that reflect what you feel, what you think, how your experiences are with whatever it happens to be, and what you want the rest of us to know about what you found it to be important, because we do want to know that. We take a lot from you over the course of a semester, and basically adjust the course to the next semester based on what our students are telling us now. So it's much more than an assignment for us. It's also a way for us to keep current and also provide the information you're interested in. So any comments about that? How are you guys going to take attendance? I already have. So what I can do is I look at the list of participants, And let me call out the ones I didn't see, just out of curiosity. That's right, $3 speaker. Okay. All right. Can you hear me? All right. All right, cool. Let's see. Christina, are you here? No? All right.
I'm here. Sorry.
You're here.
Yes.
Where are you?
She just showed up. Hi, Christina.
I was here before my internet went out. Sorry.
Okay.
So you were the one that I let back in?
Yeah. Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem.
I'm gonna destroy the name. The last name, first name is Nika, N-N-E-K-A.
NECA? Is it N-N-E-K-A?
I from the course schedule in B-Sport, it was 2 N's, but I can double check it. All right. Let's see. Who else?
Wait, I'm here. I don't know if you got me. But
Did
I'm
you get
here.
her? Casey, can you hear?
Where are you? I'm sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can. Is it Mecca?
Yeah, it's N-N-E-K-A, NECA.
Oh, NECA. So Casey
Yeah.
NECA is here. Did you get that?
I got it. All right. Karina.
Here.
So Karina's here.
Brittany.
Brittany Barrios?
Is
Yes.
it Brittany Barrios? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay,
So
good.
Casey, can you hear them now?
I can.
Okay.
How about Louisa? First Louisa. No, Louisa. Okay. Sophia. Sophia Marquez.
Was it Elissa or were you saying Elissa?
It's
What's the
Louisa
last name?
Say it.
Casey.
Fafita is the last name.
Oh no, it wasn't me then.
Wasn't you? Okay. How about Sophia Marquez? Okay. Edith Obeso. Okay. Christine Pham.
I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Alexis Smith. He's a famous person with that name. I'm honored. Jennifer Ureno.
I'm here.
Thank you. Maria Valdez. All right. So we got roll. Most of you are here. That's great. Some people.
Are we
Yeah,
able to do nicknames? Because I'm
Yeah.
Francesca, but I would rather it be Franny.
Sorry, what's the name? Oh, Francesca.
Francesca Follico. Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. I got lots of them. So years ago, before I got married, I met this young lady named Francesca, and we had an attraction, pretty strong one. And so when I didn't expect to hear this stuff, I used to be young. So I met her parents. And they called her Franny too. They did, and I insisted on calling her Francesca because that's what her name was. And it was
So does my boyfriend.
really.
But I don't know. I've always gone by it since kindergarten, so it's almost like, you know, when it feels like your parents talking to you, like with Francesca. Like I just go by Franny.
Oh, so when they're angry with you, they'll say Francesca like that. Is that what you're talking about?
That's exactly what my parents do.
Okay. Well, I'm a parent. Went to the same school, I guess. Your folks did. All right. So that's funny.
So Franny, what's your last name, Franny, and I'll change it.
Follico.
It's Follico.
Okay.
Got that part.
I have a question.
Yeah.
For my name, I don't know why it says NECA. That's my middle name. My first name is Sarah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some of the names, it was really interesting. Some of the names were like 6 names.
Uh-huh.
You enroll, I guess you put all that stuff on enrollment forms, and they carry all of those names on. So I've got 5, sometimes 5 first names or last names, and it's hard to. So Sarah, you're Sarah forevermore now. We got you.
Okay.
So
So,
yeah, the long, Sarah, what's your last name?
It's ACHOL.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Oh, you got
you're
it?
the first one. Yeah. So
Okay.
How do you
it's
pronounce that?
just Sarah.
Yeah.
No, I know how to pronounce Sarah. How about your last name?
My last name, it's Acholonu, ACHOLONU.
Ochelano.
Yeah.
Oh, so on.
Okay.
Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Anything else that we can?
I'm not sure if you guys called my name or not. Irene Brown.
I didn't call it because I saw you in the participant
Oh,
list.
awesome. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry. I have one more question. So every Mondays we have Zoom meetings basically. So Wednesdays we usually just have an assignment to do we have an assignment due that day or just?
Jackie, get back to the course schedule, please.
Yeah, we don't have them every Monday. Okay, guys.
So we're going to meet like this 6 times over the course of the semester. So that means after this one's closed, 5 more times. For the rest of the semester, we're going to meet in the Zoom room. And then when Jackie pulls up the course schedule, you'll be able to see it.
Working on it. Working on it. Yeah. Okay, let me go into content.
I also had another quick question about the infographics.
Yeah.
So for the infographics, I noticed the images, and I understand those. And you also mentioned 1 to 3 sentences. Where do we include that?
Well, it'll go. These infographics go into the Dropbox, so you'll have an opportunity to write some text when you put the infographic in the Dropbox.
Okay, so we do not include it with the images on the document?
You know what? I'm either way is fine. You can put your, it may be easier in some ways to just put a couple sentences. Here's what I'm depicting up with my images and what I found to be important. That's fine too.
Okay.
Maybe even a better way to go.
Okay,
So now
thank you.
I actually like it when you actually add sentences outside of the infographic that tells me that that you didn't just find some random pictures, that you're connecting the dots. And so,
Right. Like in a different slide, put the few sentences in there would be good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Slide's fine. All right, so on the screen now you can see that week 1 is highlighted. That's a week that we're meeting. And then the next couple of weeks we don't meet. And then on week 5 we meet again.
Where'd it go?
Jackie, week 5?
Yeah.
So you can see the highlight. And if you print it out, it'll just be gray. But so that's the times that we're going to meet in Zoom. And the rest of the time is going to be kind of work that you'll be doing independently and giving us an infographic about what you found each week. And I think I don't know, how do you feel about that infographic right now? You haven't done any, so you don't know, but if you liked it, you can give me one of these. If you didn't like it, you can give me one of these.
I think you'll like them, guys. It's not a lot of just writing. It's really about finding images that reflect, what you want to say, and then being able to just show us what that means. that make sense? Does anybody think it does not make sense?
I'm a little confused. Like, I kind of get it, but if you can elaborate a little bit more.
Okay, do you want me to, Casey, or you want to?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so in terms of, let's say we're going to do an infographic on, I might find some, does old age have meaning, right? So that's your assignment at that point. So you're gonna look at the material, right? So you're gonna go in and you're gonna read the material around that controversy. You're gonna think about, you know, what did you come up with? What surprised you? What did you learn about aging and if there's any meaning? And then you're going to go in and you're going to find some images. So if you've decided aging has a great deal of meaning, or you look at it and you say some people think aging has meaning and some people don't, you're going to find 4 or 5 images that actually reflect what you're thinking, right? So you can find an image of a woman who is sitting in a corner in a wheelchair, and it doesn't have any meaning because that's what you are thinking about. Or you can find one of a dynamic, you know, somebody playing tennis, whatever it is that you're thinking that you want to say that reflects this particular controversy. You're going to put those images together in a logical, you know, sort of way. And again, don't make it too busy. The ones we showed you are really busy. You really only need a couple of them in there. And then give us either within the images, you know, your takeaway. What does this mean? What do these images mean? What are you trying to tell us? Or you can write it separately, like Christina asked, you know, write it separately and just tell us what you're trying to communicate with these images and around that particular controversy. Does that help?
Yeah, so basically there's no really like right or wrong with this.
No right. Okay. In fact, almost the entire course, almost, I'm gonna say almost because sometimes there really is no right or wrong. It is, what are you learning and processing about aging and what's going on? And so it's really about, when we say reflection, it's a reflection. You know, what surprised you? What did you learn? What are you thinking about in terms of aging? And then your conversation back and forth with the other students in your responses, because you're going to be learning from them as well. If you come up, you are thinking one thing about caregiving, and Christina is thinking something else about caregiving, you're going to learn from each other. So I would say for the most part in this whole course, that there really isn't a right or wrong, but what we're looking for is, did you look at the material and process it in a logical manner? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
One more thing. So like on the one about old age has meaning, you may conclude that it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
and that's perfectly fine. It's not a matter of agreeing with what the author says, what we say, it's what your experience is. And then if you don't agree, be prepared to kind of talk about that a little bit, you know, what aspects of that.
No, hey, why are you eating chocolate? Give me my chocolate. No.
You need to defend what you say. So like Casey said, if you come up with, you really, after all that, you don't think aging has any meaning, you know, defend that. Be able to tell us that at least in a couple of sentences in the infographic. Does that help?
Yes.
I have a question. Sorry. Yeah. Can I ask one more question? I have a question regarding about the jural practice exam. Is it counted towards a grade? Because under discussions, it says not graded, but under grades, it says that it's 100 points. Yeah, so how does that go in terms of grading?
Well, you're going to get a grade for it. It's going to, you know, in your overall. So go to the
grades.
Grade book. This is good, Jackie.
Okay.
And then go down to the practice exam and kind of just hover over that exclamation the exclamation point after, there you go. So it's excluded from your calculations. So we'd like you to use this, the results you get, because you're going to find out what you know and what you don't know, right? Use the results with your first discussion about why you're here, and maybe this is something that will help you find out things that you want to know more about. Let's go up to the.
Can I say something else about that? Because I have a feeling I know where she's going. So let's say you take the practice exam, and this is the first time you're thinking about aging, and you get like a 40, right? And everybody panics. They think, oh my God, did I fail? Am I only going to get 40 points? No. You're going to get points for taking the exam. The 40 doesn't mean anything. That's just a way for you to look at your growth. This is what I know right now in aging. And you know, so you know you have lots to learn. But your 40 that you get in terms of the practice exam is not going to reflect on your grade. Does that help?
Yeah,
So it's
that
kind of
does
like
help.
a survey in a way.
It's almost like a survey. You know, where are you? What do you know? What do you understand? You're going to get points for taking the exam. If you don't take the exam, that's going to make a big difference. But whatever you score, whether you score an 80 or whether you score a 40, that stays with you. That's really about helping you navigate what you understand about aging.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay.
Last thing, let's go up to surveys. And what I want to do is do the drop down and preview. So this is a short survey we'd like you to take. It's the extra credit one, and it'll tell you and us where you're going to be with respect to success in this online world that we're in. So scroll down towards the bottom, Jackie, if you would. So these are just kind of general things, but towards the end, you're going to have, let us know if you've got access to internet, if you have access to the software that you need, you don't have any problems with any, and I don't think, typically we don't run in, it's usually the instructors that have the problems, but to be honest, so just if you'll fill that out for us by September 4th, it closes, that would be really helpful to us, and if you need some assistance, you can write to us, and we'll see what we can do because the university is coming online with more and more resources. This is for a lot of people, this is a real tough situation. So we want to make sure that we give you everything we possibly can to be successful. All right, we've got another class, believe it or not, coming up in a few minutes, so we've got to go away. Any questions that come up after this, please let us know. I'm going to stop the sharing, stop the recording rather.